Yes. Some new background music from StreamYard today. This is called Into Space. Into Space. My name is John Hodgman, and I don't like it that much. Let's go back to daydreaming. Good afternoon as of 3 minutes ago, here in the eastern portion of the United States, the Eastern Time Zone. All directions are meaningless, of course. That's what we call it, the Eastern Time Zone. That's a little loud. Turn it down to 33. Perhaps you are in the Western Time Zones. Maybe you're just getting up, having some breakfast, a cup of coffee, a piece of yogurt. No, you'd be having yogurt over there in the Greenwich Mean Time and European Time Zone and such. Maybe you're out there in the Ding, UK. That's the afternoon. Maybe it's time for your tea and your yogurt. KLG is in the Central Time Zone. You don't have to eat anything. I'm not going to eat while we're talking, by the way. It's not going to be that kind of podcast or live stream. I could do some ASMR though, right? Can I still watch if I'm eating cold mac and cheese in the lunchroom during morning coffee break? Of course you may. Of course you may. Kate in SLC is, I'm making a new morning playlist right now. If anyone has any suggestions about mellow, feel-good music or spring songs, absolutely drop them into the chat for Kate. I recommend 1st of May by Jonathan Colton. It's a good feel-good spring song. Whoa. Global UTC, Universal Coordinated Time. Athanatic is some kind of robot? I don't know. Clotted Cream, perhaps, says Neil Shankman. This tune is my fave. Reminds me of the calming fun we had watching The Joy of Zoning. Yeah, The Joy of Zoning is a different live stream that I was doing last year's Max Fun Drive. And guess what, everybody? I'm gonna do it again on Monday morning. Because on Monday, this time, we record Judge John Hodgman. And that's gotta happen. Do the thing. There we go. That's got to happen. I got to record that podcast. That's why we're here. Look, there are two things that are required to make the podcast go. One of them is your support during the Max Fun Drive, which is what this is. Friday, day 5 of the rest of your Max Fun Drive, March 22nd, 2024. Max Fun Drive are the 2 weeks per year, the 10 business days per spring, where we do not drug you and put you into a wicker man and burn you. No, we simply ask you to go to MaximumFun.org, and if you're able to, become a supporting member at $5 a month, or a little more if you can, or upgrade your membership or boost it. You know, that's how we get money to make the podcast go. And it's not just me and Jesse, but it's producer Jennifer Marmer, it's video editor Daniel Spear, it's editor AJ McKeon, it's social media director Natty Lopez, and all the other podcasts and all the other employees of Maximum Fun, all the other employee owners. So that's condition 1 for keeping the Judge John Hodgman podcast a-going. Condition 2, do the thing. Doesn't want to do there we go. Condition 2, I have to record the podcast. So the point is, on Monday, noonish time is when we record the podcast. So on Monday and Monday only next week, I will be doing my Max Fun Drive live stream in the morning at, what do you want to say, 9 a.m.? Yeah. Yeah, let's say 9 a.m. We can do it. We can get up early. And I'm going to be playing SimCity 2013 on Monday morning. A reprise of the not very famous live stream, The Joy of Zoning, where I play live SimCity 2013, and we all just zone out on a Monday morning while I'm zoning commercial, residential, and industrial. And I do a little whispering like Bob Ross while we do it. It's a lot of fun. Put that on your calendars for Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I don't want to hear about any global time zones right now. And we're going to have fun then. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, it'll be noon, 4 times noon. What happens if I do this? Does that trigger anything? There's a new thing where certain gestures will trigger fireworks or balloons or whatever. I didn't ask for this, and this does nothing. Boo. It should be 4 fingers should do something. Tell me in the chat what 4 fingers should trigger. Folks in the chat want to know, where do the messages that show up in the live video come from? Well, they come right from the chat. Now, if you're watching this on the service formerly known as Twitter, if you're watching this on the service formerly known as Twitter, I will not be able to see any of your comments. If you're watching this on Twitch, on the Judge John Hodgman Facebook group, on the Judge John Hodgman YouTube channel at Judge John Hodgman Pod /streams, I will be able to see your comments as they come up, or your chats as they come up, not your comments. If you're watching this over on Instagram Live, I can only see your comments if I pop over. Watch this. This is going to be intense. I figured out how to do it on Instagram Live, and this is going to be intense, I suspect. What's going to happen? There. Now we're in a different world. This is me with a delay. I don't know if you can hear that the song cannot keep up with this. Let's stop the music. Let's fade it out. There we go. Bye-bye, daydreaming. We'll see you on Monday. Whoa. We're going into a multiple mode here. That's what's happening over on Instagram. I believe that's on a little bit of delay. Hi, everyone. I'm going to comment over there. Over on the Instagram, Cat Katu says, I'm going to Maine to that Candlepin bowling place. Thank you for Candlepin bowling at Amanda's in Ellsworth, Maine. Maybe we'll get Autumn from Demanda's Candlepin Bowling in Maine onto the live stream soon. All right, let's stop this sharing. This is a little bit too much. Too much. I also wonder what just the middle finger triggers. I'm not going to do it though. Twitch, but they're also streaming here on Facebook. You're answering your own questions. That's great. I'm going to mute myself for a second so I can cough. Thank you, everyone. My name again is John Hodgman. Thanks for everyone who has joined. It is 12:12 in the Eastern Time Zone. This is Let's Have Lunch at Our Desks Today, or breakfast, or tea, in honor of the hashtag MaxFunDrive. As you can see, I got the Gorey Cam live. A little later in the program, I will be reading to you the third of the 3 short Edward Gorey books that I purchased at auction as a holiday gift to myself. This one is called the Untitled book. It's a little bit different than the other ones we read. The Deranged Cousins in the 11th episode. And maybe we'll have... I want to thank the Edward Gorey Trust. The Edward Gorey Trust is an organization dedicated to earning the trust of Edward Gorey. No, it honors the creative and philanthropic legacy of Edward Gorey through preservation and promotion of his literary and artistic works and support of the animal welfare causes to which he was devoted. Because Edward Gorey, that person loved cats. And you can see, well, here's Gorey again on the set of Dracula. He designed and here he is covered with cats. That's what I wanted you to see. That's what I wanted you to see. Edward Gorey covered in cats. Look at this incredible dude. Edward Gorey, if you don't know, is one of my favorite authors and illustrators and cat wearers. He died in just before, I think when did he pass away? I should know this. April 15th, 2000. We're coming up on his, next year, February 22nd, will be his 100th birthday. I miss him a lot, but he left behind dozens and dozens, if not scores, of absolutely bizarre, beautiful, weird, oddball, inscrutable, awe-inspiring, strange little books, including the one they're going to read later. The Untitled book. But let's remove from stage and let's remind ourselves that we're here because of not this poster of David Reese. I'm always got it backwards, but this logo up here, the Max Fun Drive 2024. Oh, we've got a friend. We've got a friend in the waiting room. I see a friend. Oh, this is very good. This is very exciting. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see my best friend, Dan McCoy, in the waiting room. No,
What?
Just kidding. It's
What?
Elliot Kalin.
What?
You're all my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Sure.
Elliot.
Sure.
How are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
Happy Max Fun Drive to you.
Thank you. Happy Max Fun Drive to you. Nothing makes me happier than to join your stream and see you talking about Edward Gorey. It just feels very on brand in a way that made me very happy.
I've been thinking about Edward Gorey a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what triggered it. I just feel like, as my own beard has gotten grayer. Now look, no one's got a beard like Edward Gorey.
No, of
right?
course.
No
maybe Samuel Delaney has a beard like Edward Gorey.
Maybe Samuel Delaney. But no one's got, let's just take another look at that beard, shall we? Let's take another look at that beard. How about that? What an icon.
Yeah, that's a great beard. That's like a czar's beard. That's an amazing one. Yeah.
What an icon. What a don.
In that last picture, it was hard to tell where his beard ended and the cat began. That's a successful beard.
That's exactly right. He never lived with fewer than 6 cats, I recently learned. And most of the cats were like grandchildren, great-grandchildren of cats that he had had for decades. Like Edward Gorey lived with his family of cats.
Mm-hmm. And
for the latter part of his life, he lived only in Cape Cod. He lived in New York City where he fucking ruled. Like, have you ever seen this photo of Edward Gorey? And I'm sorry to swear in front of everybody.
Yeah, please.
You ever see this photo of Edward Gorey just ruling New York City?
No.
Let me see if I can find it for you. It was in his obituary in the New York Times. And I'm loading it up right now for you. I've shown it on this feed before, but now that I know that you also like Edward Gorey, Elliot, we got to talk about him a little bit.
Sure.
Right?
I can remember the first time I was ever exposed to his work, which was seeing, as many people it was, I'm sure, the credit sequence for PBS's Mystery series, now Masterpiece Mystery.
That's right.
But at the time, just Mystery, right?
It was just Mystery. It was produced by the same team. Look at Edward Gorey just ruling New York City.
That's amazing.
This is in the 70s. Let's go up close.
What I love, wait, if you can go over a little bit, the guy who is walking with his wife over there, that he is looking at Edward Gorey and he has a fur-lined collar there, or maybe it's a scarf, but seeing Edward Gorey and be like, I could never do that.
That's too much. He's
it's
looking at him like,
envy.
Look at that weird freak, but what he's really thinking is, I wish I could be him.
Yes, exactly.
Edward Gorey was never unafraid. He was never afraid to be himself.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable. And I mean, obviously the ethics of fur are very complicated. But
I'd like to think that those are all antique sourced furs. So those animals would have died long, long ago. That could be mastodon fur for all we know.
That's right. Exactly so. It came out of the Arctic Circle. The ethics of fur is complicated, but the ethics of scarf, not complicated in this case.
No, look at that. Amazing.
Look at that. Incredible. Chunky knit scarf. And here, sneakers. Always wore sneakers, as did many of the oddballs in his illustrations.
Yeah, for sneaking.
And he lived in New York City for a long time and just ruled the scene.
Do you know where he lived in New York City? What part of the city he was in?
I absolutely do. Let me access my memory. Edward. Think about it for a second. Pay no attention to the clicky mechanical keyboard that I also bought myself for Christmas. New York.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm wondering how closely he might have lived to my grandmother, who lived in New York City at the same time.
let's see. He born in Chicago, early
No, that's not the information we
1950s.
need. No, no, that's right. No, New York only.
New York and New York Times, Gotham Bookmart.
And when did he live in New Jack City? When did he move from New York City to New Jack City?
I think that was New Jack City was also the name of the movie, right? Wasn't
Yes,
New
yeah.
Jack Swing was the genre.
Yes.
Did Edward Gorey live?
It is a very
in
clicky
NYC?
keyboard.
It's fantastic.
It sounds great.
It's the best.
Yeah.
The Edward Gorey house. He was a child prodigy. He is educated at Harvard.
None of this is the information
Harvard,
needed. Yeah,
I know.
so that's some demerits you're giving him there from Harvard as a Gailey.
You know what? I'll look it up and I'll let you know later. He moved to New York City.
I'm gonna look it up too. I'm gonna do this. Nothing. There's not gonna be nothing more scintillating than two guys looking up stuff.
Elliot, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You and I, we're both Max Fun hosts, correct?
Yes, that's true.
This is Max Fun Drive.
Yeah, that's true.
We should be talking to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Not clicking our keyboards, especially when we have an incredible chat group here who will totally look this up for us if we ask.
That's true. And I've been able to find only a video on Facebook that says Edward Gorey's apartment, New York City. It is video of the facade of the building.
Okay.
It doesn't, I can't see the address or the street or anything like that.
I don't think you can share that with me, but I mean this, but if you text me that photo, I'll
What's
share
video?
It. Just send me a link.
Why
are you making this so hard? Send me a link.
I don't know how, I don't really know how computer stuff works or technology stuff, you know. I'll email it to you.
Oh, good old Stacy Mitchell, the Amphigory also book. That's the thing I was remembering yesterday. Has a drawing of him on the cover that looks like that jacket photo for sure.
He had, you know what he looks like?
He had 3 huge anthologies of his work that really popularized him in the late 70s, early 80s among suburban weirdos like me. The first was called Amphigory. The second was called Amphigory 2, T-O-O. And I said in an earlier stream, I think that's the first time I've ever heard that joke. T-O-O. And then just tripled down on it. The third one was called Amphigory also. Like, what a great iteration.
I don't know if this is the case, but I like to imagine that there was kind
of... Check out Nicole.
36 East 38th Street.
36...
What's the cross street? Nicole, do you know what the cross street is? Can you put that in? I guess we could look that up.
36 East.
That's pretty. So that's not too far east of it's
38th Street.
Yeah. So that's not too far from Penn Station, right?
No, it's almost like yeah. Here, I'm going to Street View now.
Okay, I'm gonna do this
and
too.
I'm gonna share it. Let me know if it matches the video that you saying you have. Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that does look
it?
like the video. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'll have to look at the video again, which is too much work for me at the moment. But
so that's between Park Avenue. There it is. Oh.
Yeah, so he's not that far from like Bryant Park. Okay, so he's not that close to he's not that far from Tudor City, where my aunt had an apartment for some time.
Right.
But he's not. My grandmother lived on East 56th Street, a little bit farther east, and a couple blocks farther east. You know,
between Park and Madison. Not that far from the Empire State Building. Walking distance to Writer's House.
Should we make this? Would it be so? Bring up Max Fun Drive again. Should we be bad to ourselves again and create some stretch goal where you and I have to go to record a podcast outside of Edward Gorey's house?
Yes.
Is that? Should we do that?
Yes. I was just thinking. I don't want this to be weird. It just so happened that I was thinking of you in the shower.
Okay.
This morning.
That could be weird, but if you associate me with cleanliness, then that's not a bad thing, I guess.
It just so happened I wasn't in the shower.
Oh,
I was.
So you were out of the shower, but you were thinking of me as if I was in. You were thinking about me being in the shower. That's more creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of you in the shower, like that scene from Psycho.
You took your picture down from the wall. You were looking through, or you wanted me to look through the wall. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
You don't know, but I do have a private office full of taxidermied birds.
I didn't know that.
And behind one picture I have a peephole
Hmm.
that weirdly connects with California where you live.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's nostalgic. That's even better than when John Oliver and I had offices that had split by one wall. We talked a lot about
Big name drop. Big name drop, by the way. Let's just
we
honor that. Big
we
name drop.
we talked a lot about cutting a hole in the wall. And
Who?
the host of Last Week Tonight, John Oliver.
John Oliver.
This was back when we both worked on a show called The Daily Show with Jon
Yes.
Stewart, a show that wasn't on the
I
air but has now come
remember.
back. Yeah.
They did call me Gandalf at that time.
we used to talk about cutting a hole in the wall and buying a used porthole from a ship and putting it in there so we could open it and talk to each other through the wall. But
Jedi Monkey wants us to call it the Gorey Hole podcast. Gross. But it couldn't be grosser than me talking about thinking of you in the shower.
Yes.
The point
So what were you
was
thinking?
this morning, at some point in my daily ablutions, I thought of my friend Elliot Kalin. And I said, we got to do something. We don't have anything planned.
Yeah, that's true.
And what I was thinking to myself was, let's do something as simple as a live stream or a watch along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because that time we promised a full new podcast on
on a 13-episode television show.
13-episode television. It seemed like the easiest thing in the world to do. But luckily it wasn't.
It turned out great, I thought, but it was a bigger time commitment. And I remember you at the time, you said, well, we've just talked ourselves into adding an unpaid job to our lives.
A full unpaid job.
We did, and we stuck with it. You look at Harry and Meghan; they were supposed to do a 12-episode podcast. I don't think they could even do 3 episodes, and they were paid millions for that. We weren't paid millions; we're only paid in Max Fun Drive joining membership numbers, and we stuck out the whole series.
We beat out Harry and Meghan.
Yes,
and let's be fair, we couldn't have done it without producer Jordan calling.
Yes.
We're speaking of the podcast I Claudius about the television show I Claudius that Elliot and I did a few years ago. It's still available at Maximum Fun. It was so good that we couldn't keep it a members only thing. We had to release it for real.
It was too good. We were too great. Jordan did too amazing a job.
It was too much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, also, Janet Varney and I last year promised to do a whole podcast about the mottos of the states. That's 51 episodes plus territories.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it. Like it's going to happen. It's happening. We're going to release a chunk of them very soon. I just wanted to let people know that Max Fun Drive promises are solemn.
They get filled. They don't always get filled quickly, but they get filled. Well, fulfilled.
They get fulfilled.
Not filled. Fulfilled. Full. They get fulfilled.
Yeah. This morning, as I was cleaning myself perfectly and thinking of my friend Elliot Kalin, I thought to myself, we need to do something. What could it be? What could be fun? Mm-hmm. And sure enough, Elliot pops on here almost miraculously. It's the magic of Max Fun Drive. And Edward Gorey has been my obsession for this whole year, my whole life, but especially this year.
Especially this year, yeah. The same way I last year. I mean, I've always loved Douglas Adams, but last year I went through an especially big Douglas Adams revival in my life. So that happens sometimes. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, yeah, that could be my 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that if we wanted to see where Douglas Adams lived, we'd have to go to England.
Yes.
And you don't live in England. I live in New York.
Yeah. My sister lives in England. I will be going to England to do a show on May 24th. I'll be doing 2 Flophouse shows in Oxford, England, May 24th. Oh, wow. But
that's very exciting.
So if anyone watching this is in the UK, then come see us in Oxford May 24th. But we're here to talk about Max Fun Drive. But you live in New York. I go to New York relatively often because I have a lot of East Coast family.
Yeah.
It'd make more sense to do something.
We'll find a time to go check out Edward Gorey's apartment, and I think we can get in there. Now, Carlin Crystal says it was a 1-room apartment in New York, which is something. That's really something.
That seems like not enough room to hold Edward Gorey and the life that I imagine him having.
I think that his life was up here.
That's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Can see that.
His life was up here, and at the New York City Ballet, he went to every
Really?
ballet, everyone. Would not miss it. And then later in his life, he decamped to Cape Cod, to the Edward Gorey house in Cape Cod, where I've never been also. So maybe if you've got the time, we could go to the Edward Gorey house in Cape Cod.
I would love to. I almost certainly don't, but I feel like we could. But I feel like there's a way to make that time. Yeah.
You can go to Oxford to record a podcast and make money.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you're right.
you can't
where are my
abandon
priorities?
you can't abandon your family for several days
I
to go
often
on a Edward Gorey pilgrimage with me.
I often wish that I was a worse dad so that I could do that kind of thing. Like the way that you hear about, great artists who are bad people,
Yeah.
where they're like, "Oh, I needed inspiration, so I fled to Italy for a few weeks, leaving the wife behind with the children." Or like
Yeah.
William Shakespeare just left his family behind in Stratford and went to London for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a good thing to do. And sometimes I wish that I was as selfish and not as good a dad as I am, so that I could.
Your kids are both under 10 still?
One is 10 and one is 5.
Oh, okay. So this is it.
Or 5.5, as he tells me.
There's never been a better time to be a bad dad. Take it from me.
Because this is when it's really going to make an impact. They'll remember it. That's the thing. If I was a bad dad when they were 3, they might not remember it. Yeah.
They'll feel really abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's a sad story. I mean, it's just like, I didn't realize, I thought that our kids could hack it, me going away, particularly when our son turned 12. And I told him that I was going on tour, and he was not happy about it at all.
Yeah.
They were much happier when they were littler. They didn't care about me at all. At all. Unfortunately, I bet your children have bonded with you.
It goes off and on. They've alternately bonded with me and don't want me to have anything to do with them, which is
It was
kids.
so sad. It was
That's
so
just kids.
sad when he was so sad that I was going on tour for Vacation Land. It made me so sad.
That is sad.
Yeah.
It's a great book. But you said to him, "This is a great book. People need to hear about it. I need to promote it."
Yeah, but I mean, if you're in New York, where's the Edward Gorey house? Edward Gorey, Cape Cod house. Just accessing my personal memory.
That's the clicking sound of the gears of your mind turning. Yeah.
It's in Yarmouth.
How far is that? I don't know that. You know the area far better than I do. How far is that from, how far is that train-wise from New York?
Well, yeah, you would have to take the train to Providence, Rhode Island, and drive from there. There's no train that goes to Cape Cod. It is right in. It's not exactly in the. It's not exactly in this part of Cape Cod. Are you seeing this? Because I'm looking at the map. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, with your shoulder.
Yeah, so here's Cape Cod in reverse on the map. You would be looking at it. I can't figure this out.
I'll take your word for it that it's far away.
Here's Cape Cod. Right, and here's Boston, and here kind of in this nipple area. Up here in the clavicle. This is Providence. And Yarmouth is about here.
Okay.
Right here, right near. It's this is all Eugene Merman territory.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's right. It's near Dennis. It's near Barnstable. It's near Hyannis.
Okay.
We could go see some Kennedys and go see the Edward Gorey house.
I think, we'll have to figure out some way to make it work. I imagine Edward Gorey didn't have to worry about a train or driving because he would take some kind of like Wright Brothers style dirigible. Like there would be like kind of a big inflatable balloon part, but there'd also be a propeller. It's just a wire frame that you sit in.
I think you'd ride around on a wicker bicycle, don't you?
I could see that. Or a knit bicycle. Like that scarf. He probably has a bicycle like that.
I could drive us there. I have a car. I could drive us there.
Okay.
I think that would be fun.
That would be fun.
But at the very least, hey, look, let's set some goals.
Okay.
All right. Let's set some goals. This is the Max Fun Drive. It's the 2 weeks out of the year when we, the hosts and producers and other members of the Max Fun family, encourage you to perhaps consider becoming a member of Maximum Fun, a supporting member. It starts at just $5 a month, right?
It's $5 a month. $5. That is, it is one modern day comic book, basically, plus $1 per month.
Swack's got the PBS mystery theme stuck in his head or their head.
There was for me,
we're going to be hearing that later.
Yeah, there was no bigger disappointment for me. Actually, that's not true. That one of the many big disappointments for me as a kid was watching that opening credit sequence and then watching the show that came afterwards and being like, this does not have the spookiness or style. We got to put a pin in.
We got to put a pin in that because we were doing our
Maximum Fun Drive. Yeah,
but we also have to put a pin in this. We have to. Well, no, that's not it. What happened to you, Stacey? Oh yeah, we have to make a heart with our screens, so we have to do one half of these.
Okay,
but we'll do that at the end. I triggered some hearts. I'm learning new things every day. Wow.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
That's how I feel that you're here. That's how I felt in the shower this morning.
It was very sweet, and then it turned bad.
Anyway, we're doing our pitch. $5 a month to become a supporting member. That's for the Judge John Hodgman podcast alone. That's a little bit more than $1 a show, maybe $1.25 a show. If you also listen to the Flophouse, that's Elliot's podcast with Stu and Dan, who were here yesterday. All of a sudden, you're getting shows for 75 cents.
Yeah, that would be, if you just listen to the Flophouse, $5 a month would be $1.25 an episode. But if you're listening to Judge Hodgman and the Flophouse, that's 62 cents an episode, pretty much. And
wow,
if
you did the math.
Yeah, or 62 and a half. And if you listen to another podcast on top of that, Jordan Jesse Go, or one of the or the Beef and Dairy Network, and any number of podcasts on Max Fun.
Any of the new podcasts, Valley Heat, Sound Heap.
Yeah, then you're paying nickels or dimes for each episode of the podcast, which is fantastic.
Nickels or dimes. And more to the point, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you are supporting a employee-owned cooperative that produces creator-owned podcasts. There's no other company like it. And thanks to you, Max Fun has been able to thrive, not merely survive, but thrive during a period of time when a lot of podcasts are getting canceled. A lot of podcast networks that were acquired by big VC money is going away.
The fact that Max Fun is a cooperative means that cannot happen. It will not happen. The shows you love are not at risk of being purchased by a big company, and then the big company being like, this is better as a debt leverage instrument than as an entertainment company.
We're never going to get Coyote versus Acme.
No.
For those of you who read deadline.com and know what that means.
And for those who don't, you're better off. But do you want to explain what that is, or should I explain what that is?
No, let's not explain what it is. It's too depressing and it's off topic.
That's true. But you're helping keep the network alive, and in a very real sense that I'm very grateful for. You're helping keep me and my family alive, because the entertainment industry right now is going through a bad place. And your support, your member support for the Flophouse and for Max Fun in general, but mainly for the Flophouse, because that's where I get money, for the Flophouse means that I can pay my mortgage. It means that we can cover our bills. I feel very lucky that I have this podcast that is allowing me to meet my financial daily needs, because it's hard to get a job right now in television. And felt like I'm getting comic book work, but this doesn't pay television rates. And so
same deal. Yeah. As soon as the strike was over, I contacted my agents and I said, hey, I know you probably haven't heard this from any of your acting clients, but I would love to act. I would love to audition for anything. And they scheduled a call to talk to me. And I'm like, this is great. We're going to talk about what I want to do. And they basically said, don't get your hopes up. Yeah. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And the few things that are happening, you have to be the most famous person in the world. I was reading an article about the stuff that Mattel is trying to make into movies. And they're like, yeah, well, these famous novelists are all working on treatments, and this famous actor is also writing one. And I was like, well, if they're taking these jobs, if they need to take these jobs, actors are writing, what hope is there for us? Well, the answer is maximum fun. Maximum fun, exactly. Well, let's not get too into inside baseball. Some people have real jobs. That's true. Some people have real jobs, including baseball. That's a real job. Nice work if you can get it. I can't. I would say that's an even harder job to get than the ones we're talking about. Yeah. We're going to stop the begging in a second. But the point is that if you listen to either Elliot's podcast, my podcast, any of the Max Fun podcasts, and you enjoy them, and you're not yet a member, this is a great time to think about maybe becoming a supporting member, because 70% of our operating income comes from listener support, people like you. It really, really matters, and becoming a monthly member helps us plan out our year and helps us grow as a network and as a podcast. We added video to our podcast this year. We hired a video editor, Daniel Spear. That's because of you and the Max Fun Drive. Not you, Elliot, but everyone else. Well,
No,
maybe
no,
you.
but you,
I'm
I'm,
a
I am
Max
a
Fun
member. I am
Yeah.
a Max Fun member, and I contribute to Judge John Hodgman. That's you're one
I'm
of
a
the shows
Max
I
Fun
contribute
member,
to.
and I contribute to the Flophouse.
Aw, thank you.
Well, that's the other
That's
thing.
so
If you
sweet.
become a member, you might not know if you started listening, but like when you go to maximumfun.org/join, you'll get a chance to like pick which podcasts you listen to and where you want to direct your Max funds.
If there's a podcast you hate, you don't have to support that one. If there's a podcast you love, you do get to support that one. And it makes you feel good because you know you're supporting them.
Support Maximum Fun to stop John Hodgman becoming a shortstop. It's true. Thank you, Baldy3 on Twitch. If it weren't for Maximum Fun, I might have to pursue a career in professional baseball.
You might have to take one of those blue collar day jobs as a professional baseball shortstop.
Neil Shankman says either of us would be a credible catcher.
Only for short periods of time. My son is a baseball fanatic, and I often have to be a catcher so he can practice his pitching, and I can only squat for so long. So,
Thank you, Clash Blandicoot. Pretty funny name.
it's a great name.
Longtime Max Fun supporter is still a huge bargain for the amount of joy I get from the podcast I listen to. Absolutely. Snap. Does that trigger any? Nope, nothing.
What about this? Does this trigger anything on? Do I get birds?
Yeah, you get birds. Thank you. That's no.
I think
do
you used
do
up your
again?
hearts.
There we
There
go.
you did. You got it.
I'm not doing the math, but I listened to a whole lot of Max Fun podcasts. Had to bump myself up. To silver
Wow.
seagull. Speaking of birds, yes,
That's
Elliot,
amazing.
you got a
Thank you.
bird. You got a silver seagull right there.
Oh, the best kind. Thank you so much, Zaphod BB84.
Hey, Douglas Adams reference right there. Here. Here's a little.
No, the BB stands for BB Newworth. It doesn't stand for Beeblebrox. That's the thing.
I didn't understand.
Zaphod BB Newworth. Yeah.
Thanks for asking, Jedi. No. Just thought I would ask. Two media subscriptions I have: Max Fun and Defector. Love the co-op series we all did when we interviewed other cooperative media groups. That's excellent. I don't know what Defector is, but it sounds cool.
It's a website. I think they're also co-op. Yeah.
And Twitch Please says I just subscribed to Soundheap, a brand new Max Fun podcast. It's really fun, featuring a friend of Beef and Dairy Network, John Luke Roberts. I hope that not only Twitch Please you subscribe, but you've considered becoming a member.
When you become a member, it supports the shows you love, and it also gives them the resources to start those new shows. You are helping to create new shows that may become your new favorites. Hopefully, you don't like them more than the Flophouse and Judge John Hodgman, but they funding, like John said, 70% comes from supporters. The other 30% comes from maritime salvage. And we're running low on that.
Yeah,
they did find a galleon off the coast of New England that had some gold in it, but that gold runs low. It's a big amount.
Yeah, there's a big period of contraction in the shipwreck salvage industry.
Right now. I call up my maritime salvage agents and I say, get me on a ship. I'll do anything. I'll be in the submersible. They say there's nothing going on right now.
Our household contributes to Max Fun. I forget to download the bonus stuff. I still think it's worth it. I never know where to put the pins, but they look great. Put them on your lapel. That's my suggestion.
John, what does your pin look like this year for the $10 a month level?
It has a gavel.
Uh-huh.
I could show you a picture, but I have to reenact it.
Okay.
It has a gavel on it, and the gavel's a banging like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has a thing that says "Friend of the Court" on it.
Nice.
If you subscribe to Max Fun, and you become a member at the appropriate level, and you get the lapel pin. You get to choose which one you want from which show you want. And if you do that, you are definitely a friend of the court.
Is more sensible than the Flophouse pin, which is a picture of Werner Herzog, and it says, with a word balloon that says, "I'm a bad widow boy," which is what he says on our podcast.
Neil Shankman is blowing it up in the chat with the Ripley's Believe It or Not references. Oak Island money isn't easy to get. Talking about searching for treasure. Stacey Mitchell, James Cameron's cornering the market, etc.
Yeah, unfair. 1% taking all the maritime salvage money, for sure. Thank you, Stacey.
Put your pins on your cool Gen X denim jacket. You know where your pin should go? On the lapel of your members only jacket, because it's only for members. Did you hear that, Dan? That was a good joke, right?
Does that alarm you, Elliot? I wasn't going to join again today because I was here yesterday when there were arguably too many people, considering that Stuart just started painting one of his models. But then I saw it was just you
People
guys.
Love that, though.
So,
People love that.
It's just us today. And a little later on, we're going to invite some people in the chat and other listeners and Max Fun family friends to join us in the conversation. I just want to point out, Clash Blandicoot says, I've been working on my mental and physical health recently, listening to John Moe's podcast. Depression Mode has been a big part of that. Max Fun is the best shows, all under one roof. I agree.
Thank you, Clash.
We gotta give a shout out to John Moe doing the best mental health podcast in the biz, and an incredible podcast called Sleeping with Celebrities, where people do boring stuff, where they talk about boring stuff and you fall asleep to it.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, we've done so many talking points for the Max Fun Drive. I'm sick of it, frankly. What did you do?
You came too late.
What did you do today, Dan?
I was sitting here uploading the podcast, tomorrow's podcast on Madam Web, and
what you mean tomorrow? Max Fun listeners will get to hear our Madam Web episode with special guest Jubin Parang.
That's true.
The head writer of the Daily Show with
he's a co-EP now.
Co-executive producer
right?
of the Daily
Excuse
Show.
me, that's right.
He was promoted. So we're talking the hit movie of the year, Madam Web.
When Dan said I was just here uploading our episode on Madam Web, I thought Madam Web was what he called the World Wide Web.
I'm going to now.
Let me log into Madam Web and see
what does Madam Web have for me today?
All right, I know that I said I was done with the begging, but I also have to shout out Stop Podcasting Yourself. Mm-hmm. Another banger. Another one. In the words of DJ Khaled, another one. They're all bangers. They're all icons. They're all dons. So Dan, you upload. Did you upload successfully?
As far as I know, yes. I had some roast pig from New Yi Lee, a local.
Whoa.
Is that a necessary part of the process of uploading the episodes?
No, but it's just what I did. Today has been mostly Max Fun related.
Hey, Elliot. Don't. He was just telling me what he did today.
Yeah, man. No, I was just confused because you asked him if he had uploaded the episode, and he said, "Oh, I had some roast."
Let's take a little break from Elliot for a second.
Wow.
Elliot, don't go anywhere. We'll come back to you. But I just feel like, Dan, you just talk about what you did today, and that's fine.
That was a flashback just now to we had Hallie on the show, and at one point Hallie said, "You guys are really mean to Dan," and I felt my heart melt. Nothing better than Hallie, just like jumping in with a little concern for everyone's emotional well-being. But honestly,
I love that episode, and sometimes we can be a little bit mean to Dan. I confess I've been a little bit mean to Dan in my time. I apologize.
I mean, we all go with that arc with John Hodgman. Pardon me. I came back from the Joko cruise with not COVID, but something similar in the effect on me.
Yeah, some people got a little cold on that Joko cruise.
Yeah, I was coughing.
There wasn't. I mean, I don't know of any COVID cases, and mostly everyone had a great time. And I came back healthier than ever.
I thought I had gotten rid of it.
I missed my moment to refer to the illness you get on the Joko cruise as Joe COVID.
Nice.
Oh, not nice.
Oh,
watch it. Watch it,
I mean, I think we're gonna miss Elliot here in a second though, because I really haven't done anything of note today. So.
All right, here's Elliot back.
Oh, thanks,
Dan. Let me ask you a question. Does Edward Gorey mean anything to you?
Yes.
Really?
My brothers. I have two older brothers. They introduced me to. My brother John had both of the Amphigorey collections, and of course, the old PBS mystery opening.
We've been talking about this a long time. Should we just watch it?
Perhaps.
I mean, there isn't a very good one on YouTube, but there is one on YouTube.
And the new PBS Masterpiece Mystery, they mushed it up. Like they have like filters over the animation. It's not as fun.
What do you mean?
It's no good.
They added it's kind of like, this is not the best way to describe it, but it's like how the Marvel movies opening used to have images from the comics, and then they were like, we'll do the same thing, but we'll have images from the movies. Like they kind of I think tried to jazz it up and gussy it up a little bit to make it look a little different, and instead it lacks the elegant clarity of the original.
Oh, really?
At least the last time I saw it.
This is a version that seems okay. I don't know why I'm going to let the ads go by first before I. Here we go.
Only Max Fun Drive ads on this stream.
All right, let's see how this goes. And I'm going to share. So if people don't know, there is a Masterpiece Theater had a spinoff called Mystery! And it was hosted originally by Vincent Price and then by Diana Rigg. and then by
The,
Elvira.
the,
Did
the
you know
British
that?
Vincent
Oh,
Price.
wow.
Elvira hosted it?
Oh, yeah. Elvira.
They're trying to sex it up.
Ooh, I want a sex mystery up. Color me bad. Anyway.
That was when PBS was hiring Color Me Bad for all the theme songs.
Ooh.
Are you being served? And then,
ooh, Antiques Roadshow. Zippy-dop-doop-dop. Anyway, it was the late 70s. Edward Gorey was the monarch of New York and Cape Cod, and goth kids everywhere. And they got Edward Gorey to design this animation and this incredible theme song, which I think you'll be able to hear. Let's see. Share screen, mystery intro. I'm going to give it a press play.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
You can't see it?
You can't see
it.
this.
I heard a lot of. I heard this.
Oh, I know what's
mystery
going on.
sounds.
I forgot to press share. Sorry about
Classic
that.
blunder.
Here we go. Now, can you see this? Can you see that freeze frame?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, lightning.
All right, now you should be able to hear it. Let's see what happens.
Mystery is made possible by a grant from Mogul Corporation.
Transition into that open window, or that one lit window, and
Vincent Price's box of teeth.
Stop. I don't want an ad for that.
The two things that the person who's on the plinth, lying down on the plinth, that's the image that always struck me for some reason. But I love the idea that Mogul Corporation is like, you know what? Let's get our name out there. Let's promote a PBS show, classy. Will we associate with sophisticated stuff? And they're like, your name is on kind of a funerary urn, and then a kind of pterodactyl monster flies out of it and screeches at the viewer. And they're like, what?
Yeah. Literally a call from the grave from all dinosaurs that you are using to fuel cars in the United States.
I just remembered, I don't know whether this will be able to be seen very well over the thing, but I did this.
Hang on.
Let's
make you big.
Themed,
scatter glories, yeah.
Dan, you're an illustrator, and that you made that with your hand. That was all cross hatching by your own.
Yeah, Dan's an extremely talented illustrator.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I almost removed you from the stage by accident.
I apologize, guys, that I have to remove myself from the stage because I have something that I have to get to.
Wait, do you have time to listen to me read the book? It'll only take a couple of minutes.
How many minutes? Well, you start, and if I run out of time, I'll just leave.
How dare
awkwardly.
You?
I'll back away digitally.
You know what? See you later.
Wow.
I love you, Elliot. Oh wait, Elliot, we have to do the hearts. Hang on, Dan. Let's see if we can get.
Bring me back for a second.
Dan, I'm just going to remove you for 1 second.
Yeah, just so we could. Oh no, now the Gorey cam is in between.
All right, now no, I got to do it this way.
I can't. It's because it's reversed. I'm so bad at it.
All right, I'm there.
Okay, kind of.
Come on. Almost.
Well, this is when I discovered that my hand is malformed.
No, well, you're doing a great job. No.
No, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. There should be some part of my hand that this will work with, but none of them are.
No, that's it. That's the way you do it. So
Okay.
All right, do this.
Okay.
No, tighten up your index finger. Curl that a little bit more.
This one? Which one's that?
Pointer.
Oh,
there
that
you
one.
Go. Yeah. Tighten that up a little bit more. There we go.
Okay.
And now point your thumb down further.
Okay.
And then move it in. There. Get that screenshot. That's as good as it's going to get, Stacy.
Sorry.
Bang. Elliot, I love you. In and out of the shower. Bye-bye.
John, I don't know about that one, but okay, bye.
See you at Edward Gorey's house. All right, Dan, now we're back again. All right, we're going to read some Edward Gorey, Dan. I'm sad that Elliot left because there is a video that I wanted to share with him and you both, but only you're going to get it.
All right.
And
I'll do my best to.
But we'll do that as
well.
it's an Edward Gorey video that I had never seen before. But right now we're just going to read this book. So I'm going to add this to the stage. And I'm going to do it. How am I going to do it? Not like that. That won't work. 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 I think I'm just going to have to make it solo. But Dan, you're still with us. Okay. So if you talk,
Okay.
People will be able to hear you. So if you want to mute yourself, that's fine. This is called The Untitled Book. Oh, sorry. Just to be clear, if people hadn't watched this before, one of my favorite Edward Gorey's books is called The Deranged Cousins. And I saw just before Christmas, thanks to the Edward Gorey Trust, a charitable group dedicated to Edward Gorey philanthropism and cat care. They alerted me on their Instagram account that there was a big auction of Edward Goreyana going on, and a private collector was selling a bunch of their stuff, including a first edition of The Deranged Cousins, and it came as a pack of 3 little books. This is The Deranged Cousins. And then another one was called The 11th Episode, which we read yesterday. And the 3 of them came in this envelope from the Fantod Press. 3 books by Edward Gorey. Stacy asked, do I have many first editions? No, I'm not a first edition collector, but I needed to have this. And very much to my surprise, I was able to get it. And it's one of my prized possessions, and that's why I handle it indelicately every day for you, the Max Fun Drive supporters and Max Fun listeners. So this final one, this is the one we haven't read, and it's called The Untitled Book. So here we go. Solo layout. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to move this over here. Sorry, Perry. There we go. That's better. This one's a little weird. The Untitled Book by Edward Gorey. Or it's by Edward Pigg, one of his many pseudonyms, and it's signed, I'm very excited to say. This is probably the last time I ever take this out. This first edition of The Untitled Book in brackets is limited to 526 copies. 26 of these copies are lettered and signed by the author. This one is definitely signed. I don't understand what it means to say that it's lettered, because this is definitely printed. And this edition is copyright 1971. 41 West 47th Street. Gotham Book Mart isn't there anymore. And this is in remembrance of Bradford and Clifford Simpson. Hippity Whippity. Oxyboric. Flappity Flippity. Sarah Gasham. Thip. Thap. Thu. Thumblebee Stumblebee. Ipsifendus. Ramblebee Rumblebee. Schwagensacher. Hip. Hop. And you don't stop. Who? The End. Also published by the Fenton Press, The Beastly Baby, The Nursery Freeze, The Pious Infant, The Evil Garden, The Inanimate Tragedy, The Chinese Obelisk, The Osbic Bird, Donald Has Difficulty, The Deranged Cousins, and the 11th episode. There you go, everybody. That's it for the 3 Edward Gorey books that I got. Well, let's get rid of this Gorey cam. Remove from stage. What do you think about that, Dan? Good or bad?
I mean, I love it. It's more impenetrable than even a lot of his stuff, but that was one I was unfamiliar with.
Yeah, it's a minor one. Hey, I'm going to invite you. It's just coming up at the 1:00 hour here in the Eastern Seaboard. Supposedly, I have a Judge John Hodgman meeting. I'm just going to say, you know what? I love Jennifer and Jesse, but I'm going to go ahead and. Oh, wait a minute. Just getting to the office. We'll start up the Zoom very shortly. I just want to let Jennifer know that I'm live streaming, so I will join you in a bit. Maybe I'll skip the meeting. Maybe I'll skip the meeting and hang around with you guys. I mean, that would be pretty wild. Maybe we could get Jennifer and Jesse to join.
Yeah, get them in here.
What if you want to join a person out there? It's very easy. All you have to do is save that. There we go. All you have to do is put bit.ly/JJHojo, JJHojo for Judge John Hodgman join into a browser. If you're on a laptop, do it on Chrome. If you're on an Android device, do it on Chrome. If you're on an iOS device like an iPhone or an iPad, do it on Safari, won't you? Won't you do it on Safari? And priority goes to any members of the Edward Gorey Trust that were so nice to promote this stream in their Instagram account. Meanwhile,
well, while you were reading that,
Yeah,
Audrey wandered into the room, looked shocked at what I was doing, and wandered out. So I'm going to jump off and see what my wife needs. But
oh, all right. Well, thank you very much, Dan.
I'm sorry for abandoning you. I figured that if you're going to bring guests in, you'll have someone else to speak with, and they'll be
Well, there's no
very
one in the
excited.
waiting room, so it's just going to be me. But that's
No
fine.
one
I can
else?
handle it. I can do it solo.
No one else? Come on, someone ask. Someone ask. So
Someone will. They're typing it in. It's not easy to work your way into the waiting room. It takes a little bit of typing on your device, but I have no doubt that we'll have some fun before I have to sign off for the Judge John Hodgman weekly meeting. So I'll talk to you later, Dan. Great to see you. Oh, so Dan is one of the tri-hosts of the Flophouse.
Oh, thank you.
One of my favorite podcasts in the world, and it just so happens to also be a Maximum Fun podcast. And Elliot and I already gave the hard sell. We already gave the hard sell. But I mean, look at it. Look at this guy. Look at this guy's making. You do a regular Flophouse. You talk about a bad movie every week, right?
Yes, and the 420th episode will be Madam Web. We did not do any weed content. I just realized. But
why does that number have something to do with weed? I just think it's a cool number.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones. You know, it's a pretty little number, but perhaps something that would help you watch Madam Web. Lumi Labs, one of our sponsors. Anyway, MaximumFun.org/join.
MaximumFun.org/join. You also put out mini episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So how often does the regular episode come out? How often does a mini come out?
Now it's it alternates. So two
it's week
regular
over week.
episodes, 2 mini episodes, and the mini episodes kind of rotate who's in charge of them, whether it's me or Elliot or Stuart, and we kind of make a point of not really telling each other what the theme is going to be. So that's kind of fun. We spring these sort of oddball premises on one another.
And it's a really funny and wonderful podcast about 3 friends, 2 of whom are often mean to you.
Yeah.
And hey, let's not have Dan be abused for nothing. MaximumFun.org/join. Help pay his rent. and help out the podcast that you love. Dan, it was great to see you again. Come by.
Good to see you.
Every day. I'm not doing it over the weekend.
Okay.
On Monday morning, I'll be live streaming. I'll be playing SimCity 2013 in the morning. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to be doing the regular live stream at noon Eastern time. And also, I will save the Edward Gorey video that I wanted to share with you until such time as you and Elliot can come back, because I think you would really enjoy this one.
Okay.
It's Edward Gorey talking about what he watches on television.
Yeah, let us know. I would love to
really
see that.
Great. It's terrific. Don't look it up on YouTube, everybody. Wait. All right. Bye, Dan. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Amy, how are you?
I'm good.
Are you a listener to Max?
I'm a $10 a month subscriber, and I was the one who was saying the other day that I should upgrade to 20 because I went to the meetup in Brooklyn yesterday.
Oh,
and
that's incredible! We have a live report from the Maximum Fun meetup at Minnie's Bar. It's Stu's bar, Stu and Charlene's bar, Stu being the third member of the Flophouse. And you went to it.
Yep, and Stu and Dan were both there. And they're lovely people, and I had a great time. And everybody was listening all the podcasts they listened to. And I think I listened to twice as many of them.
Wow.
And I feel like I'm splitting my funding too much. So I feel like I should upgrade to 20 so that it's fair.
Look, Amy, that's first of all, nothing is fair.
Well, obviously life's not fair. That's what, the novel, The Princess Bride says.
That's life's not fair. And the fact of the matter is, you being a $10 a month supporter just means the world to us. And I'm certainly not going to stop you from doubling your support if for whatever reason you want, but just know that you already have 100% of my thanks for supporting Maximum Fun. That really means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And you live, was it a long trek to get to Sunset Park?
No, I live in downtown Brooklyn by the courthouse. So
all right.
It's the R train, which is a pain. I actually go to a science fiction reading series, which is in Industry City. So I was already there this week already.
That's super cool. What are you reading in the sci-fi reading series?
It's people come and they read live, like their work and stuff like that. Like published authors and stuff like that.
Hang on, I just need to send a message to Jennifer saying, if you want me to join the Judge John Hodgman weekly meeting, you have to drag me out of here. Come and drag me out if you want me to join you. We'll just see. Sorry, it's a reading
series. There's like a whole bunch of science fiction reading series in the city.
So it's not like a book club where you're all reading a book together. Okay.
Honestly, I'm a book reviewer, so I have more books than I know what to do with at this point. So yeah, I reviewed your audiobook narration of Dimension of Miracles for Locus several years ago.
Thank you.
And I keep wishing you would do more books. I wish Neil Gaiman would bring that series back. It was a great series, the classic SF works. Yeah.
Neil Gaiman partnered with Audible to bring into audiobook format a bunch of classic science fiction that had not been adapted to science fiction before, books, that is to say. And I read at Neil's request a book called Dimension of Miracles by, oh boy, it's escaping me. Do you remember?
Robert Sheckley.
Robert Sheckley, yeah, that's right. Kind of, we were talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with Elliot a little earlier this hour, and Sheckley kind of was an American author, I believe.
Yes, he was.
But he kind of pioneered that semi-absurdist comedic science fiction that Douglas Adams worked in and perfected in his own way.
Yes, that's definitely true.
And yeah, I'd love to do more audiobooks, so maybe I ought to talk to somebody about that, because that's a lot of fun, although vocal strain is real. The VR
No, I'm sure I have a lot of friends who are audiobook narrators, and it seems like a really intense kind of job.
It's really, and it's like, when you say a word over and over and again, it starts to lose meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what reading an audiobook is like a little bit. You kind of go into a weird fugue state. But, I wish Kate wants to release the Neverwhere. Oh, we got a lot of questions about Neil Gaiman. Well, I got to talk to Neil Gaiman a lot of things. But here's studies for a portrait saying the meetup at Minnie's was great.
No, it was a lot
I
of
was there
fun.
too.
Everybody was lovely.
How late did you stay? 4 a.m.?
No, I mean, because I have a day job, I think I left at around 10:30, 11, maybe.
Good for you. Very
And-
responsible.
Well, I mean, you can't actually make a living from book reviewing, so I have to have a day job.
Where do you review the books?
I review for Kirkus. I have had an
Oh.
audiobook column for Locus.
Oh.
I also write for a digital platform, which you would know, but an NDA says, and you wouldn't really want me to buzz market. It's not
Got it.
Audible, but it's a big one.
Got it. No problem.
And I just started doing a little bit for Oprah Daily.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, science fiction's why you and I actually also have an acquaintance in common.
Oh, yes, go on.
Nora Jemisin, because I know you're a big fan.
N.K. Jemisin. N.K. Jemisin is Nora's. That's the
Yes.
name that Nora writes under. But known in real life as Nora Jemisin, who I met at the Jonathan Colton cruise some years ago.
Yeah, she and her roommate Danielle told me a little bit about that. So
and then we met again when I hosted the Nebula Awards in Chicago some years ago too, which was a real exciting time for me. I really enjoyed doing that. I read a lot of books that I might have missed otherwise and loved them. Some exciting stuff is happening in science fiction and fantasy right now.
Yeah, she's a great writer. She used to read for the New York Review of Science Fiction Reading Series, back when she was just publishing short stories. And, she's definitely one of those. I knew her when, and I'm thrilled that she's had as much success as she's had.
She's incredible. The last time I saw her, she was walking the picket line during the writer's strike, which was terrific.
She hosted selected shorts recently. I saw a thing. Oh, you have to read The City We Became and the sequel. They're so good. And if you live in New York, they're such New York books.
Hang on a second. I'm sorry, Amy. What is it? What do you want? I don't want to come to the meeting.
We have a 10 a.m. meeting that you're 10 minutes late for, John.
I'm having fun talking to Amy.
No, John, people can go to MaximumFun.org/join without you. Right now, we have to have a meeting.
What about Will? Look at Will here. Will wanted to talk to me, and he hasn't even had a chance to.
That's true. Hi,
Will, that's what I say. Shut your pie hole, Will.
Not my pie hole.
Judge Hodgman and I have to have a meeting. Oh, I'll turn sideways. How about that?
What can we talk about that's more important than talking directly to our listeners about the Max Fun Drive?
Talking directly to our producer about the Max Fun Drive.
Well, why don't you bring her in? Let's have the meeting right here. Why not? Transparent. Let's have it out in the sunshine. Sunshine is the best.
She's in Studio B. I can see her. Here, look. You can see her on my.
Whoa! Hi, Jennifer. Wow, are you at Max Fun HQ right now?
She's at the office. I'm not. I'm in my house.
You're at your house, right? But neither of which things would be possible without the Max Fun Drive. To be honest,
it's true. And you know what else? Without the Max Fun Drive, what would he do?
There we go. Look at Junior.
He says, "I need kibble."
All right, look. Will, I'm gonna take 1 minute to learn about as much about Will as I can.
I accept.
Will, what basement are you calling from today?
I'm in the basement of Max Fun headquarters. No, that's not true. That's not true. No. Wow, I'm at my house in Columbus, Ohio. I live here with my wife and our 3 cats, which is sometimes one too many cats. And I'm a Max Fun supporter, have been for a long time. I remember the days when you guys sent actual food to people.
Oh yeah, I used to. For those who don't know, I used to cook at the office. I used to bake at the office, and if people joined at I believe it was the $35 a month level, I would make blondies for you, and we would package them up and mail them. But we realized we were spending so much money mailing them that we were losing all the money that we otherwise were earning from members upgrading. So we had to stop. Also, I could only bake so many blondies.
Yes. Well, there. And let me ask you a question, Will.
Yes.
How old is that hot water heater behind you?
Oh boy, we rent, so I'm here to tell you, I don't know. Sometimes it makes the most horrifying sound.
I just learned that you're supposed to replace your hot water heater every 12 years. And I'm just wondering if that's real or if that's just something Big Hot Water Heater wants me to believe to buy a new one.
That's an excellent question. I have no idea.
Well, that's the beauty of renting. You don't have to give a feces.
That's true. I'm gonna put googly eyes on it, so when it makes the terrible noise, it doesn't scare me so bad.
Don't be scared. Everything's gonna be fine. What does the noise sound like, though? Maybe I can diagnose it for you.
Out of nowhere, it will just give a single very loud clang.
Oh, that's just the water heater ghost.
Oh,
yeah. That's just the hammers. You know what that is? That's just the merman that they put inside of every water heater.
Okay. Oh, it's probably fine then. If it's still making the noise, they're still alive in there. So
yeah, that's right. He's fine. He's just saying more krill, please. That's what he eats, krill. Oh. All right, Amy and Will and everyone and all the ships at sea. Jesse's making me go to a meeting. I guess that's how podcasts get made. Sometimes there are meetings, right, Jesse?
That's true. Sometimes there are meetings once a week specifically.
And we had to talk to Jennifer Marmer, our producer, whose salary is paid by the Maximum Fun Drive. So please, everybody, before we go, why don't you tippy tap your keyboards over to MaximumFun.org/join one more time, or send that link to a friend, or buy a gift membership, or do whatever you can to help support the Maximum Fun podcast, the Maximum Fun network of podcasts that you love, all creator-owned and an employee-owned cooperative, blah, 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 blah. You know what it's all about. Just do the right thing today if you can. We're going to take a break over the weekend. I will be back with a live stream on Monday morning at 9 a.m. I will be playing Sim City, and then noon every day the rest of the week. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll say bye-bye to Amy, remove from stage, bye-bye to Will, remove from stage, and bye-bye, Jesse. I'll see you soon. I'll be in that meeting right away. Just kidding, I'm not going to that meeting. Are you kidding me? That's so boring. Never going to go to that meeting. You cannot make me go to a meeting. You can't. What's this? Automatic shut-off.